Hi everyone, Aaron here for Solotech, and this week we have a lot to talk about with the iPhone 16e, iPhone 17 Air dimensions, iOS 18.2.1, and iOS 18.3 Beta 2 very soon. This is your weekly Apple News update for the week of January 6th, 2025. Now, last Friday, Apple announced updates to Fitness Plus. Apple is adding new workout programs that focus on strength training and much more, and things such as endurance, agility for pickleball, updates for yoga, and much more. So this is what's coming very soon. You'll see 3 perfect weeks of strength. As we scroll down, updates for pickleball, yoga peak poses, introduction to breath meditation, and on with new artists, new episodes of Time to Walk, and those are things I actually used, guest trainers, and much more, and even integration with Strava. So if you've been using Fitness Plus or you haven't, there's also a free trial on apple.com for 3 months, so be sure to check it out if you haven't already. Now, Apple's getting ready to hold their earnings call. They do this every year, they post it, and you'll see this year it's going to be on January 30th, 2025 at 2 p.m. Pacific time. So that's typically when they go over all of the things they've sold. They don't really go into the details of how many iPhones they sold, but just basically how they did the past quarter. So we'll hear about that information then. We've also had an update to the overall staff at Apple, where they've actually got a new chief financial officer, replacing Luca Maestri as of January 1st of this year. Kevin Parekh is actually taking his place, and if we scroll down here, you can see that on Apple's leadership website. I'll link these in the description if you want to check it out yourself, but he's the new chief financial officer. Now, the Apple CarPlay update that we've been waiting for, a next generation, hasn't launched yet. Apple actually said it would be coming to vehicles in 2024, and they still haven't updated their website, and it still says 2024. So this is something we still haven't seen an update to. We're waiting for that next generation, and supposedly Apple's working with brands such as Porsche and Aston Martin, but we still haven't seen this. In the latest Porsche Macan Electric, we actually have Android Automotive running now instead of Apple CarPlay. So maybe they'll update it, maybe they won't, maybe they chose to go a different direction, we don't really know. But either way, hopefully they're working on it and we'll see it sooner rather than later. Apple Digital ID is available in some states now and is expected to roll out to more states soon. However, I wanted to clarify for many who asked after I mentioned it in the weekend follow-up video about when their state or country would get the option for digital IDs. This is actually up to the states and countries to work directly with Apple to implement it. Apple is not making the decision, but just offers it. So also I mentioned before that North Carolina would start allowing digital IDs after a new law. So that could be later this year, around June or so. And if we go into the Wallet app, you'll see currently we have Arizona, California, Colorado, Georgia, Hawaii, Iowa, Maryland, New Mexico, Ohio, and Puerto Rico. So at this point, we're lacking quite a few. We're expecting at least 7 or 8 over the coming year or so. Now, Vision Pro production has apparently ended. However, this is probably due to the supply being enough based on the demand instead of Apple maybe scrapping it altogether. They may be working on a lower priced model. However, at $3,500 to start, it is extremely expensive. It's a pretty neat piece of technology, but it does lack things such as games like MetaQuest has. I'm actually having some durability issues with the strap here on the side, as you can see here. And overall, it's a neat device, but again, it's $3,500 and very expensive. So maybe they'll come up with a lower cost option and try it again, or maybe in the future they'll just get rid of it. But I think based on what we've seen from Apple, they're probably in it for the long haul. So we'll probably see a couple iterations if they do get rid of it in the future. Apple recently gave CNET a look into its camera lab, showing how it created the iPhone 16 model lineup cameras and studio mics. There's a new article about this. I'll link it in the description for CNET, where it says 1 billion pixels a second. I got a rare look inside Apple's secret iPhone 16 camera lab. So definitely worth a look. They're in an anechoic chamber. You'll see testing and much more when it comes to testing and verifying things such as the camera and microphone. So definitely be sure to check this out if you're interested. Now this week, Apple has discounted iPhones, iPads, MacBooks, AirPods, and Apple Pencils in China from January 4th through the 7th. If the buyer uses some of their options there, such as WeChat, they can get a discount of up to $68 or so. This may be a yearly promotion, as Apple actually offered a similar discount last year, but we rarely see them discount them directly from their website. This is probably due to more competition, and also it seems iPhone sales have gone down for the 4th month in a row in China. So maybe this is a move to get those moving again or something else. Apple this week added the Apple Watch Series 4 to the vintage product list. That means you typically won't get more support, maybe a security update, but most likely it's no longer supported. It says obtaining service for your Apple product after an expired warranty, and if you scroll down to the vintage product list, you'll see Apple Watch products vintage worldwide, and it lists the Series 4 in both aluminum and stainless steel. So it's now vintage, so at this point, you'll need a Series 5 or newer typically to get updates. And also, when it comes to deals this week, there's a deal on the Apple Watch Series 10. It's now available for $329 from Apple on Amazon, discounted directly from them. However, it's for the smaller size, so it goes up in price from there, but they all seem to be discounted. I'll link that in the description along with other deals such as the AirTags 4-pack for $69.99, updates on iPads, and more. However, we do expect iPads in the near future. When it comes to releases this week, well, iOS 18.2.1 is expected, and it depends when we'll see this, but it could be available on the 6th or 7th at this point, along with iOS 18.3 Beta 2. So I would expect both of those things this week, as well as iOS 18.3's public release toward the end of January or early February. Probably toward the end of January, though, but we don't know 100% yet. So at that point, I think we'll have some updates, and also I'll be at CES this week, so the overall videos may look a little bit different, maybe a little less polished as well. Now, when it comes to leaks and rumors, well, the iPhone 17 Air has more information about it. Apparently, it's going to be the thinnest iPhone ever. We've heard this before, and it's coming in 2025 as a replacement to the iPhone 17 Plus model. It's supposedly thinner than the iPhone 6. This is an iPhone 6 Plus, which is a little bit bigger, but the iPhone 6 was slightly thinner at 6.9 millimeters. Apparently, the new iPhone will be 6.25 millimeters thin, so thinner than this device, which is crazy thin, and would allow for some compromises, such as maybe a smaller battery, a singular camera, or maybe they'll figure out a way to put a larger battery in it. That's probably my largest concern with this, is will it have decent battery life with a super thin overall chassis? So that's something we saw with the iPhone mini, why many people complained about it, even though it was a well-loved product. It just didn't have the battery life of the other devices due to physics. So the overall size just couldn't contain a large enough battery. But if they've figured that out, that would be great. We also expect it to have at least a faster display in it. Now, we don't know if it will be the ProMotion display, 120 Hz. It could be a 90 Hz display, but apparently it's going to carry across all iPhone models this year. Maybe that would be a differentiator between the iPhone and the iPhone Pros, and we'll still have 120 Hz here. Or maybe we'll go to 240 or something along those lines. But either way, that's what I would expect, and we do expect some updates there. So it would be great to see a faster screen refresh rate, as well as a super thin new designed iPhone. I think that's a great idea, just to have something a little bit different. But also we expect the iPhone 17 Pro models to look a little bit different as well. Some people have hinted that the overall camera module would be horizontal, sort of like the Pixel 9 Pro. However, others have said that it would be similar, but have a different sort of camera bump overall. Majin Buu on X actually showed what it looks like if it could have a larger camera bump, sort of a cutout here, and I think that would be sort of something to differentiate it from the iPhone 16 models. Something else that could be new this year is an iPhone SE4, but instead of calling it an SE4, it could be the 16e. There's a couple people backing this up. Back in December, we had Fixed Focus Digital on Weibo say that the iPhone would be called iPhone 16e, and now, again, Majin Buu has hinted that the iPhone SE4 would be called the iPhone 16e. It's expected basically to be similar to what we have with the iPhone 14, have an OLED display, a singular 48-megapixel camera, as well as a squared-off design, as well as the notch and Face ID. So that's what we're expecting there, along with USB-C instead of Lightning, as the iPhone 14 and SE3 are no longer available in the European Union due to regulations. So that's what we can expect very soon. Also, the price could be slightly higher on the new SE. This is according to YUEX1122 on Naver in South Korea. Instead of it being $429 like it is to start currently, we could see an increase to as much as $540 to start. So we'll have to wait and see if that's something they're actually going to do. Also, we talked about before how Apple's working on a new Magic Mouse. The overall charging has been sort of laughable, although it charges fast enough where it's not mostly an issue. Apparently, they're going to address this, where it will charge either from the front so you can still use it, or there will just be some difference here. However, this week we've actually heard that the Magic Mouse could include voice control to go along with AI. So your Magic Mouse could have Siri apparently, or something along those lines. I'm not exactly sure why you would want that, but we'll have to wait and see exactly what that means. It isn't expected, though, until 2026, according to Mark Gurman. But we should see a more ergonomic design. I actually like this since we have the touch panel. It's nice and thin. I know many people don't like this mouse, but this is something I actually like, but most people don't, and a new mouse would be welcome. So that's everything this week with the latest Apple news and updates about iPhone 17 and more. I'm looking forward to the next set of updates, of course. Let me know what you're looking most forward to in the coming year. Of course, I'll link this wallpaper in the description like I normally do, and if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe, and if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.